Man, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack. We're here today to talk about Nioh. Not the chosen one, not the one. We're here to talk about Nioh, the Onimusha slash Dark Souls game. That's the immediate comparison that you would make, I guess. It is by Team Ninja, but this game is pretty fucking fun. So upon launching Nioh, you will come into the game not too sure what's going on, and it just kind of throws you right into the chaos. You will get your ass handed to you. You have to equip your weapons when you first start, but you will notice as you play the game and as you kind of look around at things, you will notice it is very similar to Dark Souls, and there will be a lot of comparisons to the Dark Souls franchise, but this is one of those hardcore games that is going to make you suffer. It is going to tear your fucking ass up when you play it. I progressed and got through the main mission that they give you access to, and then it opened up to a few other missions that I didn't actually get the chance to play, but the game feels good. At its basic core mechanics, yes, it is going to be compared to a Dark Souls game. It is a action role-playing game, so in Nioh's case, it has a skill tree where you can equip certain skills for certain weapon types. In the combat, there are certain weapon types that have certain stances, 4 different stances for each weapon type. So you could have a katana, you could have a spear, you could have different hammer, for example, or an axe. And all these different types of weapons have different holding styles and different stances to where they give you different types of attacks. So you can actually chain different types of stances and attacks as combos, but please be mindful of that god-awful stamina bar. That stamina bar will drive you insane. The stamina bar obviously acts as stamina, and this determines how much you can do given how much stamina you have. So you can only swing a certain amount of times and run away, and then once you deplete your stamina bar and you try to push it just past that last little bit, you will actually become immobile. You cannot move. Your guy gets like fucking exhausted. He just fucking sits there, and then you can get attacked. You're open for anything to happen to you. Basic enemies in the game can kill you in 1 to 2 swings. It is a very hardcore and challenging game. There are different items to collect in the world, and there are a lot of loot drops. Actually, this game is for loot whores like myself. Shout out to all the loot whores out there. This game will actually tickle your loot whore senses, and each item has item rarities too. So I got, for example, the basic item levels. I got a yellow item level. I got even to the point where I got I don't know if it's called legendary, I don't know what it's called in Nioh, but it's a purple item. And so you get these different items, and you know, item drops are actually pretty fast in this game, I will say. Much similar to Dark Souls bonfires, you go to shrines, and this is where you can level your character up. You can actually equip a different animal spirit, like the fox, for example, which is fire, to the little puppy dog, which is just cute as shit, and he's a little like electricity. There's the shark, which is a water type, and then of course I think it's a chicken. I think that's air. But yeah, you can equip different types of animal spirits, and then they will come with you, and it kind of serves as a special attack meter. Your special attack meter will fill up until the point where you can actually use it, and then you press triangle and circle, and you go into beast mode, and you get like unlimited stamina in a certain amount of time. You can kill lots of enemies. Speaking of enemies, because there's a lot of details I'm trying to spew out here. Speaking of enemies, there are different types. There are the basic enemy types, which will just try to run up on you and kill you, and like I said, a few hits from their poles or from their swords and they will drop you instantly, and it's pretty difficult. And not only that, but there are these big, and I'm gonna call them Oni, but I really don't know what they're called. They're these bigger guys. We walk into a certain section and they will spawn up, and they're like sub-bosses. They're like mini-bosses. These are not the main thing that you are fighting in each level. Each level is a mission, and so you can actually accomplish and complete the mission. They don't string together, so you will go from one place and then you can travel to different places on the map. You have to ultimately face one giant main boss in the level to progress from and complete that level. So you have the sub-bosses, smaller enemies, and then of course the main bosses that you'll have to fight, which are just wow. And a few other things I noticed, the equip load makes a huge difference in your movement speed. Obviously in games similar to this, that will play a huge part in it. The gameplay and the combat is actually pretty quick, and you can actually be smart about the combat. You can run around your enemies, you can block, you can dodge in different directions, and you can dodge and roll in a direction. Sometimes, well, actually a lot of the times, you will not pay attention to your stamina bar, and it's tough. It's tough because the movement speeds are so quick. You want to attack, you want to swing, but you got to be smart about how much stamina you're using in a given situation. And I kind of dislike that for a game like this and a style like this. I kind of want to just fucking swing away. I kind of just want to button mash, But at the same time, it's a different style of game. It's got that more hardcore, Souls-inspired gameplay type, so you kind of have to be mindful and manage your stamina that way. I also noticed that the shrines that you pray at, you can refill what is basically your Estus flask, but then you can also sell a lot of the equipment that you find in the game. So because I said there are frequent loot drops, it will actually give you the option to sell a lot of the stuff that you collect. Now, I never really sold anything. I was just loot whoring, picking up a lot of stuff. And all this stuff you can switch and swap out live in-game. There's no pause menu, so you cannot pause the game. You have to get to a safe spot to kind of hide and, you know, look at your stats and everything. But the game is very, very difficult. Like I said, this is a very hardcore game. This game will kick your fucking ass. You have to learn boss patterns. You have to learn enemy patterns. You have to see what enemy type does what. You have to really pay attention to your surroundings and make sure you don't get your fucking face ripped off. Another interesting feature that I noticed was on the ground. So in Dark Souls, for example, on the ground there will be these lines, right? These red lines on the ground, or orange lines, whatever they are. You walk over them and press X on them. PlayStation, of course. These are messages from other players telling you, oh, there's a hidden area around the corner, or there's a hidden object around the corner. In Nioh, it's a little bit different. Instead of leaving notes behind, I think it leaves player phantoms behind. And what this does essentially is there's a fucking sword in the ground. You walk up to it, it shows you what player it is, how that player died, and what equipment that player had. And then you can proceed to summon that player. And once you summon that player, you have to fight and kill that player's specter, or whatever it's called. And so instead of dropping helpful hints around the world for you, I think other players can just drop a version of themselves to fuck you up in the game. That's how hardcore Nioh is. This game is not for people that want a casual time, or even a normal to hard time. This is a hardcore fucking game. This game will continuously beat your ass. Death after death after death after death. You will die repeatedly. Shout out to the stream for having faith in me, because I was actually about to quit fighting the main boss in the first little story mission, but I ended up being victorious in that video, and I will probably make a gameplay video highlighting that live stream, and you'll also see that in the background of this video. But overall, my experience with Nioh, this is day one for me. This is my type of game. This is a hardcore, unforgiving. We're not going to really tell you much about the game. We want you to learn it on your own. The amount of time that I put into Nioh, this demo alone, proved to me that some games can be tougher than Dark Souls, and this game will repeatedly kick your ass. But I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, you can download the demo on the PlayStation Store right now on PlayStation 4. It is Nioh. If you have not read the title, it is the alpha demo. I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing more of this game on the channel as the game gets closer to release, because it's all going down. So thank you guys all so much for watching this episode of MavAttack. Please let me know in the comment section down below if you tried out Nioh, if you got your fucking ass handed to you, because I'm kind of curious to see how a hardcore game like this translates to a whole audience of gamers. So to everybody in the comment section, to everybody watching the video right now, let me know how you feel about Nioh, if you played it, or just Dark Souls or hardcore games, unforgiving games like this in general. Are you a fan of it, or do you like a more casual time? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I've been MavAttack. All you hear Mav stay rad, all you see Mav stay fab. Be on the lookout for some Nioh gameplay on the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of MavAttack, motherfucker.